With all the existing news in media around BharatPe, do you think it has impacted anything in their hiring process or the way they are working? So would love to hear from someone who is inside BharatPe and tell us and address this to the entire viewers. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the another episode of Product Management Interview Experience. I am Sugat, and today we have Sachin Sharma, who has recently joined BharatPe as a senior product manager. Welcome, Sachin.
Thank you, Sugat. Thanks for onboarding me over here. And hello, everyone.
Hey, great. So, folks who are here for the first time, this is the channel where I talk to various product managers and get to know their journey of how an interview experience of various companies. So, keep watching the video till end because today we'll be covering a lot of things, especially about the entire interview process at BharatPe, and also, what are the current openings that BharatPe is hiring recently. So stay tuned and please like, share, and subscribe the channel if you haven't. So it will help to me to get some motivation and keep uploading some awesome such videos. So without any further ado, let's get started. So Sachin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Definitely. So, guys, I'm into the product management for more than 8+ years, and I had recently joined BharatPe last week. And prior to that, I was within a startup that was a Gurgaon-based organization, and I had worked for around 5 years into the B2B space. And prior to that, I was also in a startup that was also having that was working into the B2C space. So I have in the 8 years of experience, I have worked for around 5 years in the B2B space, B2C space, and now I have get again into this B2C space with the BharatPe. That's about me.
Great to hear, Sachin, about your various experience in both B2B and B2C. So I think definitely that would have helped somewhere, getting landed into the Bharat Pay part of it. So let's listen out to your entire story of Bharat Pay. So feel free to share, how you got that recruiter call, what were the different interview process, how was the time. So we'd love to hear as much detail as possible.
Sure, sure. So basically, talking about the opportunity, that how I get this opportunity, I found this job over the LinkedIn, over the LinkedIn job posts of on the BharatPe page, and I mostly recommend that you should use your network to find the jobs, and same thing that I had done, and I basically reached out to some of my connections over the LinkedIn that were working in the BharatPe, and from there I got this opportunity. Okay. And now coming to the next point, how was the experience? So I would just like to share my screen so that I can give you more
Absolutely.
idea around that. So like in the round one, it was with the hiring manager who was a senior product manager, and basically the three things that were being asked in this interview round. First of all, one thing was the introduction and my experience of the past, and second was a cause analysis question that was asked. The question was that you are the product manager at BharatPe, and this month the merchant transaction has dropped from the last month. So what would be your action plan for around that? Okay. And third was around the key skill of the product manager, that is the prioritization. So how will you prioritize a feature? These were the three questions that were asked, and this entire round goes for around 30 minutes. Okay. And what I was evaluated on, I was evaluated mainly on two things like my passion behind joining BharatPe and my knowledge about the fintech. Because definitely before joining a fintech, you should have at least a glimpse of that how fintech things works. Secondly, was like the prioritization skills and my capabilities in building products from the scratch. So these were the things that I was evaluated on. And then
Great,
coming
great
to
to
the
know, Sachin.
second, yeah. And then coming to the second round, it was one of the chief product officer. Okay, so he just the first walk me through the steps that you take on feature from ideation to deployment. He just wanted to know that can I build the things from the scratch? That's the thing over there. And then there was a product improvement question that was asked that there is a product of BharatPe 12% Club which allows you basically you can invest or you can lend from there at an interest of the 12%. So I'm a user of that product. So they asked and that person asked me around that how would you improve this product 12% club app for the BharatPe. Okay. And again, the what I was evaluated on was around my knowledge about the fintech domain, how I can build the things from the scratch and deploy them, and my knowledge around the lending part. Okay, and the duration of this entire interview was around 30 minutes. Yeah.
Got it, got it. Thanks, Sachin. I think these are pretty insightful, questions that you are sharing, and the kind of evaluation criterias that is being set for all the rounds. So, let's proceed to the upcoming rounds and see how they were.
Sure, sure. And then my third round was also one of the another chief product officer who was at the BharatPe, and this interview round also goes for around 30 minutes. Okay, and it was also over the Google Meet. So the question that was asked over there was that you are a product manager at the Paytm, and it's a payment product only, that with no additional features that this product currently provides, like you can book a ticket and a lot more things that you can do over there, and it's having around 100 million unique users and 10% are monthly active users. Okay, so here are the active users is a person who is making like he made there was clarification that who's making transactions. So suggest he want to know that how I can increase this 10% monthly active users to the 20% monthly active. How can I can increase the business over here? Okay, so he was trying to evaluate me on some things like my problem solving skill and how quickly I can solve these problems. Okay, because it's a 30-minute discussion, and definitely he want to evaluate me over this, that how quickly I can do the answer. So these were the three online interview rounds that I had. Okay.
Got it. So, Sachin, before we proceed further to the upcoming rounds, do you also wanted to share for the audience how these questions can be tackled or answered during the interview? Some insight on this kind of case studies and problems?
Yeah, definitely. Like there are some frameworks that you can go through. I would say suggest that you should always go with a strategy. A lot of people I have seen because I had also interviewed a lot of product managers, and I also had an experience around that. So I had seen that the mistake that product managers generally make, that they directly jump into the giving the answer. So I would always suggest that take some time, analyze the problem. Uh, draft your answer and then present it. Okay, and there should be a step-by-step process that you should go this way, instead of like, and there should, I would always recommend that there should be a framework in your mind that you should follow while answering these questions, instead of like drafting answers randomly, because that will help, that will be a great help for you when you are going in a step-by-step process and with a framework. Okay, but another thing that I would also recommend, that never mention to an interview that I am following this framework. Okay, he just wanted the right answer. He's not looking for the framework. Otherwise, it looks like that you have crammed everything and you are putting that thing. So have the framework in your mind, but present it in a real scenario to the interviewer.
No, very valid point, Sachin. So, interview framework is just for your reference, right, and not something to be explicitly called out. So, keep that in
Yeah,
mind and keep proceeding. And the second part is what you mentioned. It don't jump into the solution, but rather focus on the problem, analyze the problem. What is the things happening? What is the current state, and then proceed accordingly.
yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Yeah, let's move to
Okay.
the upcoming rounds.
Yeah. So after three rounds, I was called for an offline round for to the office. So that actually there were multiple purposes that I was called for. One was that so that I can have an idea about the office, and I can they can see me personally. So that also because hiring for a senior role always like that person should always meet your vibes. So there are a lot of other things that are being evaluated. So my next three rounds were offline. Okay, so I went to the office, and then fourth round was again with the senior product manager who was an hiring manager. Okay, and again the duration was of around 30 minutes. So the questions that were asked were more around the fitment. Okay, because I would be closely working with him, and I am still closely working with him. So he was basically looking for the fitment side, where he asked me some questions like how much comfortable you are working in the B2C space, as I had spent an ample amount of the time of around 5 years in the B2B space. Okay, which of the products that because BharatPe is having multiple products portfolio, so they were he was keen to know that which product I would be more interested to join. So this was around the fitment. Okay, and then again the fifth and sixth round were the CPUs. Okay, so in the fifth round, I was asked a product improvement question. How do you improve PDM app? Okay. So again, for the product improvement questions, I would suggest you that go always have that framework thing in your mind and present it in a well-drafted manner. And then in the sixth round was also with the chief product officer, where he was like evaluating me like how comfortable I am working with the designing team. Do I know? So he asked me to create a UX of a landing app and and explain it to a designer, because definitely when you explain it to a designer, then it's like it's a real scenario where you are using the right terminologies and are you presentable. So he was also evaluating over those things, and then he asked me around to create an architecture of multiple types of the landing, because there are multiple type of landing products that BharatPe is having. One is into the P2P landing, BNPL landing, and there are a lot more landing products. So he wanted me to create an architecture to check my tech skills a bit. Okay, and what all services there or the microservices that would be built in a single lending app can be reused in other apps. Okay, because because you need to be very smart. You always not need to you cannot build every service every time for any product. So you should always be like you reusing the things if you can possibly. So these were the six interview rounds that.
Hey, awesome. Thanks, Sachin. I think this was pretty detailed, crisp, and good to know such sort of interesting question case studies, which actually evaluates kind of a 360 degree of your product skills. And kudos to you again on cracking the BharatPe interviews. So, what happened
Thank you.
next? Right, you got an offer, or like, yeah, can you walk me through that? How long it take you to closing the interview to joining BharatPe?
Actually, it was quite quick. It compared to other things, it took me around 2 to 2.5 weeks. Okay, in the entire
Awesome.
six rounds, because there are multiple rounds, so still, and on the very same day when I was coming back from their office to my home, I got the confirmation call from the hiring manager, and after that, the HR processes and other things proceeded. Yeah.
Got it, Sachin.
But
So thanks,
but
Sachin.
I really appreciate this thing that it was very quick compared to other companies that I interviewed for.
Great, great. Maybe Sachin, you can stop sharing the screen and then I will
Sure.
start with the next set. Okay, perfect. So thanks, Sachin, again for walking me through the entire interview experience, right? So, this interview seems to be pretty intense and pretty challenging, right? Can you also help the viewers understand, right, how you had your preparation journey, or what were the things you prepared earlier to so that you can face this kind of challenges at BharatPe interviews?
So, I had already, as I was preparing for the interview, so in that case, I had also gone through there are multiple type of the questions that are being asked in a product manager interview. Root cause analysis is one thing, product strategy is one thing, product improvement is one thing. Okay, product science design questions are generally being asked. So these are the the generic things that are being asked in all interviews. Okay, so I had prepared for them, and secondly, also I was going through the fintech domain because I was moving into the fintech, and I was quite keen towards the fintech domain. So I had also prepared around the fintech, that how the lending was, how all other things how the BNPL thing works, A knowledge around the fintech was quite useful for me. So this is how I prepared for this interview.
So, Sachin, do you think for anyone applying for BharatPe, they must have a fintech experience, or can someone with a non-fintech experience can also get into BharatPe?
Yeah, a person with a non-fintech experience can also get into the. I'm also the same kind of a person. I never worked into the fintech domain. For the very first time, I am working into the fintech domain. But yeah, at least you should know about the fintech. You should have like a glimpse around the fintech, that how fintech things. You should not be blank at that point
Got
of
it. So
time.
great,
And
great to
definitely
know, right?
this will also help you in making the decisions, not in the into the interview, but also in the later thing that in which because when you would be facing the fitment round, so you can also mention that which team you want to join based on your interest, because you also know that thing, that if that would interest you or not.
Got it. So it's not mandatory that hey, you should have the fintech experience, but your interest or your knowledge on fintech can also help you, drive
Yeah,
these interviews.
yeah,
Awesome. Perfect.
absolutely.
So yeah, moving to the most important set of questions. I'm sure most of the folks while watching this video would have this in mind, right? Uh, we have been listening about BharatPe, and BharatPe is in news for last 3 to 4 months, right? And that creates some sort of notion among the all the users and people around it, right? So I wanted to ask you specifically, right? With all the existing news in media around BharatPe, do you think it has impacted anything in their hiring process or the way they are working? So would love to hear from someone who is inside BharatPe and tell us and address this to the entire viewers.
Definitely. So I would say that this everything that's going in the media, definitely a lot of people who are outside this space or outside this organization, or who are not deep into it, they might be having something in their mind. But personally, because it's been around a week that I had joined this organization, and I interacted with a lot of people, because I had spent this entire week in catching up with all the people in the pro team, the tech team, and the senior management. And I had seen that there is nothing that is being impacted inside the organization. They are working completely at the same kind of the pace that they were having. Okay, and they are still aggressively recruiting, because this news is in media from last 3 to 4 months, I think. But still, I had seen a lot of people who had joined in last 1 month, last 2 months or 3 months. So they are new joinees over there, and still BharatPe is recruiting in all the domains. So I don't feel anything that's impacting their business as of now.
That's great to hear, and that's a relief for all the applicants who are pursuing BharatPe as their next career option. So definitely, folks, do check out their career website, and if you come across any relevant openings, and so do reach out to Sachin for any sort of referrals. And BharatPe is still hiring many product managers, so feel free to apply and join their company. Yeah. By the way, Sachin, did you get a BMW bike after joining BharatPe?
Sorry.
Did you get a BMW bike, a motorcycle after
No,
joining
I
Bharat?
think no, I think that offer is closed. I'm not that lucky for.
Okay, no worries. So, anyways, I really enjoyed the entire conversation, Sachin. And do you want,
Same here.
before we wind up, right? Do you want to add up anything to the audience?
Yeah, in that case, because I'm also helping a lot of folks these days in to get into the product management, because a lot of people are coming to me for any aspiring or the budding PMs who are coming to me to get some consultation around that how I can get into this, and a lot of people are coming in. So for that, I have opened up my calendar, so you can find my calendar link, so you can catch up with me for that.
Great call out,
That's
Sachin. So, yeah, folks who are looking to get some product management, consulting sort of thing, feel free to reach out to Sachin, and he would be more than help you to in this journey. Perfect. So thanks a lot, folks. Staying till this time to watch the video, and I hope this would be helpful. And I will soon try to catch up with another interview experience. Till then, signing up, and please like, share, and subscribe this channel. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.